everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name's Laura and this is my first proper video. I did do an introduction video that I've already posted. This is my first proper sit down video. So yeah, I thought today I would share my 2023 reading stats and also my goals for my reading in 2024. Let's just get into it. In 2023, my goal that I set on Goodreads was 52 books, and I read exactly 52 books. It was a bit of a struggle. I was behind on my goal for most of the year. There's nothing worse than going onto Goodreads and seeing that you're like 5 books behind schedule 2 weeks into the year. But I knuckled down and I managed to read 52 books, so I'm happy that I managed to reach that goal. Looking back, it's only 1 book a week and I really felt like I'd read more than that, but I must have just had periods where I didn't read as much and must have gone weeks without reading, or without finishing a book, should I say. But no, happy that I reached that goal. It is down on the year before. In 2022, I read 61 books. I think the year before that, I might have read 64. So we're in a downward trend, but hopefully we don't keep going down. So the total pages that I read was 18,449 to be precise. However, that's not entirely accurate, as I haven't gone through and set the right editions for every book that I've read on Goodreads. So it is, give or take, 18,500 pages read this year, and that makes an average book length 349 pages. Looking back, that tends to be the kind of average I generally read. Each book length that I read is roughly 350 pages, and I would say that matches what I do read as well. A lot of my books are around the 300 to 400 page mark. That seems to be where I lie. What else do we have? I'm reading them all on my laptop, which is why I keep looking down. My average star rating was really good. It was 3.9 stars. Maybe that suggests I'm too generous of a rater. I tend to rate books, obviously you can't do the half rating on Goodreads. I tend to round them up rather than down. So if a book's 3.5 stars, I'll probably give it a 4. I don't always rate a book on Goodreads. Sometimes, particularly like non-fiction and things like that, I don't tend to rate, but yeah, so I would say that's pretty generous, but that's pretty good stats. I wouldn't mind if all my books were 3.9 stars on average. I'm quite happy with that. So in terms of how my books that I read were divided, I read pretty much 50-50 Kindle and physical. 24 were read either as a Kindle book or as an ebook from my library, and that makes 28 books read physically, and it's pretty standard. Most years I tend to read 50-50 Kindle and physical. I'm happy with that. So in terms of the genres of books I read, out of the 52, I've just taken the first category that they're shelved on Goodreads, so they might not be 100% accurate. There might be some that are marked as historical that are historical and contemporary, but this is the rough guide of each genre breakdown. So I'm just reading them off my laptop. I read 14 mysteries, 9 literary fiction / contemporaries, 9 romances, 7 historical fictions, 4 non-fictions, 4 fantasies, 3 thrillers and 2 horrors. I'm happy with that. The bulk books I do read are mystery thrillers. Interesting that I read a lot more mysteries this year than thrillers. I think if I went back 2-3 years ago, it would have been predominantly thrillers, not many mysteries, although I am still learning the difference between the two. 9 literary fiction contemporary books sounds about right. I'm quite surprised about the 9 romances that I read. I didn't realise I'd read that many, but I'm happy. I think that probably will go up, if anything, this year. And the 2 horrors that I read I really enjoyed, so I would like to incorporate a few more horrors into my reading if possible. Just to note as well, I read 6 translated books this year, and I enjoyed all of them, so I definitely want to read some more translated work this year. I think 5 of them were Japanese translated, and then 1 was a Fredrik Backman, so I think that's Swedish. Yeah, but I really enjoyed them all as well. So yeah, that was a roundup of my 2023 reading stats, just to kind of give you guys an idea of the kind of books that I read this year, or last year, should I say. So let's head into my 2024 reading goals. So I've set a few, but not many are like numerical. They're more just a guide and a feeling. So the big one, the Goodreads reading challenge, I've set to 45 books, with the idea in my mind that I actually want to read 50. I was just fed up of Goodreads always telling me I was behind schedule, so I set it to 45. However, my personal goal is actually to read 50 books this year at least. I'm hoping it'll be a lot more than that, but I thought if I set it to roughly one a week, I hope I can achieve that. I didn't want to put too much pressure on myself. I've got a busy first half of the year, particularly with work stuff, so I didn't want to put too much pressure on myself if I fall behind. My second goal I've just written down is less scrolling, more reading. I'm so bad at just sitting on TikTok scrolling, or sitting on Instagram and just scrolling, knowing I should be doing something more productive in my time but not, and then you just get stuck in that cycle, don't you? So I've just made my goal to recognise when I'm stuck in that cycle of scrolling and try and put my phone down and pick up a book instead. There's so many times when I can pick up a book that I don't, and I really want to find more time to pick up books this year. One of the ways I want to do that is to take my Kindle with me a bit more, particularly on my commute to and from work. It's about 40 minutes each way. I do it about 3 or 4 times a week, and I often don't bring my Kindle because I think, oh, I've got the Kindle app on my phone, but I never open the Kindle app on my phone. Whereas if I have my Kindle with me, I'm always reading my Kindle, and I'm obviously a lot more productive on my commute to work. So I definitely want to prioritise taking my Kindle out with me a bit more, and I think that will help the less scrolling, more reading goal as well. My third goal is to focus on books I think I'm going to love and not just reading books for the sake of it. I have a big backlist, TBR, of books some of which I've had on my TBR for literally years and years, and I either need to read them or just get rid of them if I'm not interested in them, if I don't think I'm going to love them, just stop picking up books for the sake of it. I often find myself saving a book because I know I'm going to love it, but I don't feel like ready to read it yet. So I'll just read a couple of books that I'm not as interested in, to kind of bide the time until I'm ready to read a book I think I'm going to love. And actually, I just need to read the books I think I'm going to love, because most of the time I end up loving them, and the books that I'm just picking up for the sake of it, I don't. I have so many books on my TBR, some of which I've had for years, that I just am not as interested in now, so I think it's time to be strict and just unhaul them. I have a bad habit of thinking, oh, but I might read it and actually really enjoy it, and I might read it one day, or I got this as a gift 6 years ago, and still haven't picked it up, but you know, I can't get rid of it, but it's just time to move on. Another goal, kind of off the back of the last one, is to read more new releases. So I read 7 2023 releases in 2023, which is more than I thought actually, but still not as much as I would like to read. I often buy, I would say 90% of my books are from charity shops, so that does mean I'm normally a couple of years behind the books that are coming out, just because I love charity shop book hunting, but I would like to pick up a few more new releases and kind of keep up with the times a bit more, because I always find so many books I think I'm going to love, but don't end up picking them up or don't end up buying them. So I actually want to make more of an effort this year to read some more new releases. I already have a list that I'm creating on Goodreads of books that are coming out this year that I'm interested in. Because I think that's another thing, I don't hear about the books, or I don't see the books or pick them up until they've been out for 6 months, and then they've got a massive hype around them. I need to do a bit more research myself and find these books before they come out or as they're coming out, so I can actually get excited about them when everyone else is, rather than being a year behind. I would like to read 6 non-fiction books this year, I think. I read 4 last year and I just want to improve that. And And yeah, I think 6 would be a good goal to have, one every other month. Again, on my TBR, I have got a lot of non-fiction books that I would like to read, and ones that I do think I will really enjoy or get a lot out of. Yeah, I used to read a lot of non-fiction, and the last couple of years that's kind of declined. So I'd like to make more of an effort this year to read them, and I think if I give myself a goal of reading 6, that hopefully I can achieve that. My final goal that I wrote down was to create a booktube. So here we are. I can already say I've ticked that one off the list. I love feeling accomplished. So here we are. I've created a booktube channel. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm really excited for it. So I'm happy that I have got one goal for the year down. So those are my reading goals for this year. We'll see how I go. Fingers crossed I can achieve them. By making this video, I've made myself accountable for them. And I guess come back next year and we will see if I've completed them. But no, I hope I can. I haven't done too many numerical ones, so a lot of them are open to interpretation. So hopefully I can't go too wrong. But yeah, stick around and hopefully we can achieve our goals together. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.